Let's go. I don't know about you all, but that video has me hyped. 37 days away. I have some friends up here as well. How are we feeling this morning? Good. Let's give it up. Welcome to the 2026 NCAA Women's Final Four Tip-Off Press Conference. My name is Autumn Johnson. I am the host and reporter of March Madness Women's Basketball, and today I have the honor and privilege of being your MC for this conference to get us ready for the Final Four here in Phoenix. How are we feeling? Yes. In fact, this is the first time since Denver 2012 that we'll bring the Final Four back to the West Coast. We are so excited, and we can't wait to see which four teams will meet us here today. Jam-packed hour ahead of us. You'll hear from many key people and also partners involved in making this championship experience the best of the best. We'll talk about the Women's Final Four, what it means to women's basketball, the community, and fans. So let's get right into it. Please help me welcome the CEO of the Phoenix Final Four Local Organizing Committee, Jay Perry.
Autumn, thank you so much. We love the pink suit here in Phoenix. You're rocking it. And good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Phoenix Final Four Local Organizing Committee, thank you for being here to tip off this amazing event that we are so excited to host. In just a few weeks, Phoenix will host the Women's Final Four for the first time. And at this moment, it's incredible when women's basketball is capturing more attention, more energy, more enthusiasm than ever before. We're seeing record-breaking attendance, incredible viewership, and just fans showing up in really powerful ways, not just across our country, but across the world. Last year at the Women's Final Four in Tampa, we saw fans travel from 50 states, but also 23 countries. This is definitely a global game, and all of them want to be a part of this championship experience. That is the reach of this game. And here in Arizona, we're ready to not only meet that moment, but to exceed expectations and make this the best women's Final Four yet. Right? As Autumn said, today we are 37 days away from Friday, April 3rd, when the semifinals will tip off right here at the amazing Mortgage Matchup Center. We're looking forward to 3 unforgettable basketball games, and almost as important, we're also looking forward to the larger impact the championship will have on our state. The Women's Final Four will drive tourism and economic activity across Arizona. It'll create philanthropic benefit through many programs we're doing in the community and shine a global spotlight on Arizona as a world-class destination, as a place to live, as a place to do business, and of course to host major mega sporting events like the Women's Final Four. We are in excellent shape from a planning and preparation standpoint, and we're ready to deliver an extraordinary experience for student athletes, for the fans, for the media, and of course for our community. There are countless people to thank for getting ready and getting us to this point to bring this championship to life, and I want to mention just a few. First, the NCAA, Lynn Holzman, and her staff. Thank you for entrusting us with this major basketball event, and thank you for letting us work alongside you to make this really a phenomenal Women's Final Four. We could not be more excited about it. To our host institution, I agree, let's clap for them. To our host institution, Arizona State University, Graham Rossini, his staff, we thank you for collaborating with us and really supporting the student-athlete experience and also just the championship at the very highest level. And Player 15 Group, Josh Bartelstein, you'll hear from, Paul Rivers, your team, thank you for opening your home to us to create what's going to be an incredible environment for this championship inside Mortgage Matchup Center. And of course, thank you to all of our local supporting partners. Many of you are here today. We couldn't do it without this incredible team in Arizona, and everybody is really coming together to make this a special event in 37 days. Today you'll hear from leaders who are helping shape the championship, but also shape the women's game, with conversations around the future game, the growth of the game, the fan experience, and then the community impacts that'll be happening here in Arizona. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs is a strong supporter of major events, and especially of the women's Final Four. So we're going to roll a video from Governor Hobbs.
Hi, it's Governor Katie Hobbs. We've shown that nobody hosts mega sporting events better than Arizona. And the women's NCAA Final Four will be no different. Game on.
Give it up for Governor Hobbs. She's an amazing leader for our state, and she is an amazing supporter of Women's Final Four, so we truly appreciate her and her staff. So come event week, the world's eyes will be on downtown Phoenix, and all the stakeholders in downtown Phoenix have rallied to elevate the visitor experience. And so I want to give a shout out to the mayor's office, the city manager's staff, our city council members that are here but are supporting even if they're not here, to Visit Phoenix, to Downtown Phoenix Inc., and many, many more that have been tremendous teammates in this endeavor. It takes a village, and we've got an amazing village here in downtown Phoenix. It is my honor to introduce the leader of the city of Phoenix, a champion for women, and dare I say, a rabid women's basketball fan. We are in good hands with Mayor Kate Gallego.
Championship Valley rises again. I'm so excited to welcome the Women's Final Four to downtown Phoenix. Jay, thank you for your leadership, and to all of our incredible partners from the NCAA to Sun Devil Athletics and Player 15 Group. We are going to put on a great show. The national championship and incredible fun, friendly activities for the whole family are coming to downtown Phoenix. We do an incredible job at major events, and I'm confident, Jay, that we can rise to your challenge. This will be the best women's Final Four. I am so thrilled to be here with my colleagues at the City of Phoenix. Could our Phoenix City Council members please stand? So we have Vice Mayor Hodge Washington, Councilwoman Betty Guardado, Councilwoman Ana Hernandez, and Councilwoman Ann O'Brien. You may notice we are a supermajority women. The fact that we have so many women in leadership in Arizona makes this Final Four even more exciting. We also have a great professional team at the City of Phoenix, including our lead on major events, Cynthia Aguilar, who is here with us, and so many great people at the City of Phoenix who are working so hard to make sure that this is a really special event for the entire community. And I'm so proud to be mayor of a great basketball town, Phoenix, Arizona. What a year we have had with women's basketball, Coach Miller, and the incredible performance of our Sun Devils. They are so much fun to watch and just really care about the whole community. And I gotta be honest, it's coming off an incredible season for our Mercury, so. The Women's Final Four represents the pinnacle of women's college basketball, and Phoenix is so proud to stand with these incredible athletes. The championship celebrates more than greatness on the court. It builds on our success and commitment to supporting major events. We win big with local impacts for our community. We'll have a chance to celebrate thought leadership that discuss excellence in our city, support for women, and the incredible sports business environment we have here. We're in an era where now sports is an asset class you want to be invested in, and we have so many great leading companies here we'll get a chance to showcase. As the mother of a third grader, I am very excited to celebrate the read to the Final Four, to celebrate the next generation academically. Anytime you can get more kids reading is good news to me, and just those in the environment. Those are some competitive third graders about who can read more, and they really feel the pride in the community and are very excited. So thank you to our partners at Helios for that partnership. We are also thrilled that the NCAA Women's Final Four Legacy Project, presented by Dove, will strengthen the Alhambra Village neighborhood with vital renovations at the Washington Activity Center in Councilwoman Gordado's district. And we can't wait to see the finishing touches unveiled early in April. We have some incredible young athletes here, and they are really going to enjoy this great investment. There'll be so many free events, you just have to register. Within my household, the bounce is also a favorite, although at a previous Final Four, my child thought it was a race. But great to see those basketballs bouncing through the city of Phoenix. The great basketball is a wonderful matchup for our great city of Phoenix weather. If all of our media partners could report on what the weather is like in the rest of the country right now, we would really appreciate that. We're going to showcase our culture, our beautiful weather, and our friendly hospitality. So we're ready to be the center of women's basketball universe, and take a look at the screens for a glimpse of what is yet to come.
Let's go. Shout out to Cindy Brunson, getting us hyped. As we know, women's basketball is on the rise, and it's so fun to be a part of it. And what we're seeing today is sustained success, investment, and true commitment to the game. And that's what we're going to talk about in the first of two panels that we have set today. The second panel will focus on the free fan events and community initiatives coming to Phoenix as a part of the Women's Final Four. But I have a star-studded panel alongside of me, some heavy hitters joining me on the stage. Let's get right into it. I am honored to be joined by Amanda Braun, chair of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Committee, which oversees the D1 Women's Basketball Championship, focusing on student-athlete welfare and ensuring a fair, high-quality tournament. She has also served as the director of athletics at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee since 2013. And Lynn Holzman, NCAA Vice President for Women's Basketball since 2018. Lynn is responsible for the strategic direction of NCAA Women's Basketball, along with the oversight, operations, and management of the Divisions I, II, and III Women's Basketball Championships and the Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament. And Molly Miller at the end, who is in her 10th year as a college basketball head coach, in her first year as the head coach at Arizona State. And man, our host institution, by the way, what an incredible season we are seeing from Coach Miller. She has already made a splash. Her team started off the season with 15 consecutive wins. That's the best start, yes please, in program history. Give it up. And on February 14th, she set the record for the most wins by a first-year head coach. in ASU women's basketball history. As I mentioned, star-studded. Let's get right into it and dive in. I want to start with the fans because we are seeing a surge in attendance, TV ratings, and of course, social media as well. I'll start with you, Molly. When you look at what we're seeing and who we're seeing show up for women's basketball, what have you noticed, and how has that been different in the past 5 to 6 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the past 5 to 6 years, you had basketball purists show up. And they had a reason because they loved the game of basketball. And now I think there's more interest in the stories and the players and the coaches and the programs, which really sparks interest from corporations to get involved, to alumni to come back and get involved. But what I'm really seeing in the arenas that I love are the little boys and girls with Sharpies that are ready at the tunnel, little girls that have the same hairstyle as some of our players. I say that because I have a 9-year-old, Crosby, and her basketball team came to a game, and Marley, one of our players, had her hair in a bubble braid. So she has a ponytail, and she's got little sections of hair ties. Well, we played on a Saturday, the whole team came, and then on Sunday, I went to Crosby's game. Their whole team had a bubble braid. And so I FaceTimed Marley after their game, and I was like, Marley, look at all your little fans. And Crosby and her teammates went wild that I had FaceTimed Crosby, and Crosby answered. So these kids really are getting the exposure to inspire this next generation.
Absolutely. Lynn, what about you?
Those are the storylines that are so meaningful and impactful, obviously from a grassroots level, but as we think about the Division I Women's Basketball Championship, and as you said, we've continued to see this growth. It's not new. We've been growing for a long period of time, and the success we've seen historically, but of course, there's been this catapult forward over the course of the last 5 years or so. Much of that can be attributed back to 2023 when we had the storylines around Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and all of that. Well, what that tells us when I mention those names is that it is about our players and our coaches. That is the number one thing out of the gate. But with that, then, we need to create these environments that fans of all ages are finding these connections to the players to understand, like, what is it I have similar or what is it about their stories that compel me to want to be part of this entire cultural phenomenon of women's sports, of which women's basketball is a preeminent leader within? So with that, when we see the successes we've had around our championship, the partnership we have with ESPN, for example, is significant. You have with ESPN the relevance and the reach because of the many different platforms that they have, the opportunity that all 67 of our games out of the 68-team championship are broadcast nationally, the international reach that we're experiencing, and again, this is because of the partnership around the championship that the NCAA has with ESPN. For example, I think it was like 162 countries last year that the men's and women's March Madness games were distributed internationally. This year it's up to, I think it's 227 countries, and it is the exact same for men's and women's basketball in 227 countries. So the global reach that we have is imperative. Showing up for games throughout the regular season and the entirety of the championship matters. We sell out Women's Final Four. We have for up to close 15 years straight now. It's also important, though, that we reach back into the entirety of the championship and into the regular season to make sure we're creating this fun product, a reason for fans to come back, and those are our focus points. Last year, we saw records for both consumption through ESPN, broadcast viewership, but we also saw within the top 3 of attendance throughout the entire championship.
Amanda, I want to talk about just the different roles that you all have is so important on this stage. I mean, we talk about committee leadership, national strategy, head coaching. What decisions or even investments have you seen truly push the needle for women's basketball?
Yeah, well, on the local level, certainly, I think we've seen over the years that athletic departments and universities are valuing women's sports and women's basketball in particular. So that we're really seeing a lot of that. At the national level, you know, we now have a situation where teams can earn units as they're in the NCAA championship for each game that they play, which is unprecedented. So there's a revenue driver there. There's something to reach for something to incentivize universities. So, you know, the investments by the broadcast partner, ESPN, is huge. You know, we're taking things out. The NCAA staff's done a fantastic job of getting things out on social channels. Autumn, you've done a wonderful job on behalf of women's basketball of that. And that's getting people's attention. I think we have hit a flywheel. I think this is where we are for a reason. Quality of the teams, the stories of these wonderful women who are on the court, and all the work that people are doing to make it happen.
Lynn, what about you? What have you seen push the needle for women's basketball?
I would emphasize again, I think that the different platforms that we have to meet fans where they are at and all the demographics of fans. And that's what you also see with the type of fans we have in women's basketball is that it's all different age brackets. And we've seen particular growth recently, for example, in consumption through ESPN of the championship of the age bracket of 18 to 34-year-old women. Why is that? Well, some of it is because of, again, the connectivity to the players, the name, image, and likeness, NIL, the changes that have happened within the NCAA provides avenues for our players to really, their personal brands to be put out there, of which when I talk about those age demographics, there's a different type of connection that can be made. We've seen the carryover, if you will, from the WNBA and otherwise, where both NCAA college women's basketball and the WNBA really are working off of one another because it's primarily our players that end up in the WNBA, but you also see the case of the WNBA recognizing and reaching back into the college space, the examples that those players serve, again, whether it's fashion, how they use social media, the name, image, and likeness efforts around that. So to add to everything that's already been said, I think that's one in particular that has really helped transform our game and, again, meet fans where they're at.
Coach, with all of these changes, what have you noticed from your lens, how that directly impacts the sport?
Well, I think from the digital media is so important, and I'll add to that storytelling through digital media. I just became an Alana Myers-Taylor bobsledding fan because I learned about her story as a mother, and now she's the oldest U.S. women's gold medalist. And so I don't know if I would have watched that bobsledding race if I didn't learn about her story before. So storytelling is really important. You know, if someone can't go to a game, they can stream a game while they're cooking dinner. They can share a highlight. They can send a graphic through their group text of alumni. So I think just sharing, especially the digital media space, has been so important for our game.
I completely agree. I have the honor and privilege of sharing these athletes, even coaches' stories, and just to peel back those layers of who these people are off the court. Adversity, comebacks, what keeps them going, that's so special. And if you can make that connection, that creates fandom. You want to follow those stories along the way. So I have the honor and privilege of doing that with the NCAA. So grateful to cover these incredible women that we're seeing take on the court. Molly, I want to stay with you because as a head coach, we're seeing this surge in visibility, which directly impacts student athletes when you think about expectations, NIL, just everything that they're asked to do. How have you seen that kind of shift in a way in this era?
Yeah, I mean, everything's amplified. You know, recruiting's faster and broader. Media is constant. Expectations are higher. NIL's the real deal. So here I am seeing student athletes having to brand and market and educate themselves on what that looks like, up their game in financial literacy, time management. I didn't have to do any of that as a player. Now, could I have wanted to maybe do a camp and monetize it? Absolutely. But I think what they're doing is great. I believe that they're getting a head start. You know, NIL is transformational. It's real world profiting from their hard work, which it's going to help their future. I think as a coach, it's my responsibility to make sure that they're equipped with these resources to succeed and take advantage of the marketplace. Also keep them grounded in their priorities. Make sure they're humble, and we always say the work is the reward. That's one of our sayings in our program. So to make sure that they love the grind, they understand how to use it, and that opportunity moving forward. But they've been well equipped, and I'm really proud of the responsibility that they've taken, and these student athletes are seeing some huge and tremendous advantages to this NIL era.
Yeah, these women are bosses on and off the court. Their day-to-day lives
Little
look a
mini
little
and
different.
entrepreneurs.
Exactly, and they are crushing it. I love to see it. What will be the next benchmark for women's basketball, the next indicator that truly lets us know that this game is pushing forward and reaching another level? Lynn, I'll start with you.
I think there's two things I'm going to point out. One, just to build on first the player side of it. We haven't said this, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. They are damn good basketball players. The skill.
Yeah, clap
You
for
can
that.
clap.
Absolutely. Yes.
So it's not just everything else that's happening. It is also the fact that what we see on the floor as a sports fan, as a basketball fan, you also know when you see good basketball. The game is so different than when the four of us played at the college level. The players are more skilled, they're more athletic, they are quicker, they're more physical. It is a beautiful game to see that. So I think as we continue to see the evolution of the sport itself, inherently you're going to continue to see the evolution of the game of basketball in the way that women play it. The second thing, when we talk about really what's next, one thing I will point out around the championship specifically, we continue to embrace the partnership we have with ESPN, and you'll hear in a little more around some of the initiatives around that. And really how ESPN continues to lean in as our broadcast rights partner for the championship, but also what they do around the regular season to amplify the sport, in addition to other broadcast entities that are out there. The viewership for this season, ESPN recently reported, is I believe it's 33% up year over year. For the regular season. So you know that when you have entities that it's visible, you can see it, the fans respond to that because they're also demanding it. And the last thing I would point out for the championship, as we look toward the future, because of the demand we've seen around the viewership and the attendance, in 2027 and in 2028, our women's 2028 and 2029, the women's Final Four is going to be in 2 domed venues. Now, it's going to be seating that reaches up to around 30,000, like a half set of a dome. And that is because we've had such demand around our championship. So the strategic decision with the committee around that and to really lean into that fans want to be directly engaged and come to our events is something in Indianapolis in 28 and 29 San Antonio that we're really looking forward to, and to learn what does that mean for our championship, and if that's something that continue to be contemplated for the future.
Amanda, if there's one unlock that could push this game even further, what would that be?
Well, I think in the national level, things are happening as they should. You know, I think the multimedia partners, I think the NCAA is doing a great job. We're going to need to be on the local level even more aggressive about supporting women's sports and within athletic departments and in communities, making sure that women's sports, women's basketball right now is the highest profile collegiate sport, really gets that attention and gets the support that it needs. So that's sort of on us, right? The membership to continue to carry this forward.
I love it. Thank you, everyone, for your insight and everything that you do for the game. We so much appreciate it. And as we learned in this panel, the growth of this sport is directly tied to the intentional investment, the access, the opportunity, especially for younger people. And one of the meaningful ways of the Women's Final Four, what we do off the court, is through Read to the Final Four. It is a statewide literacy challenge that connects the excitement of the championship to those strong reading habits. And to share more about the program and its impact, please help me welcome Barbara Ryan Thompson, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Helios Education Foundation. Give it up, give it up. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. It's a real honor to be here today after such an incredibly powerful conversation about the state and future of women's basketball. I had the pleasure of being in Tampa last year. It was a blast, and I'm looking forward to Phoenix this year. It's going to be even better. I shouldn't say that, but it's going to be even better. What we heard reflects something we deeply believe. The growth of women's basketball is not only about what happens on the court, it's about who we inspire, who feels included, and who begins to see themselves as part of this story from a young age. At Helios Education Foundation, engaging young students is core to our mission. That is why we are proud to be the presenting partner of Read to the Final Four, a free reading challenge where schools advance based on how much their third graders read. Helios has supported Read to the Final Four since its Arizona debut in 2017, and as we head towards the 2026 NCAA Women's Final Four, the program is reaching more students than ever before. This year, 190 schools and more than 12,000 third graders across Arizona are participating, logging a combined incredible 17.2 million minutes of reading so far. So let's give it up for the third graders. That's 17.2 million minutes of imagination, confidence building, and growth in reading skills. It also shows us that when reading is connected to something as exciting as the Women's Final Four, grounded in teamwork and celebration, kids show up. Along the way, students have earned rewards like Molly's Minis, a special section at ASU women's basketball home games, led by Coach Molly Miller. Woo-hoo! So far this season, ASU has given out 1,333 tickets to Sun Devil women's basketball games of the Reader's Choice. For many students, this is their first in-person experience with women's college basketball. And the biggest moment is still ahead. In just a few weeks, the Final Four will be celebrated at Tourney Town, presented by Capital One, an official fan festival of the Women's Final Four inside the Phoenix Convention Center. One champion school will receive a $5,000 grand prize to support reading, literacy, and library programs, and 3 runner-up schools will each receive $2,500. But beyond the numbers and the prizes, the impact of the Read to the Final Four is deeply personal. A teacher at Ignacio Canchos Elementary School in Phoenix shared that students who once hesitated to read aloud are now the first to raise their hands. That's what the NCAA's Read to the Final Four is all about, and why we at Helios are proud to support this program. It's about helping students become better readers, building their confidence, and showing them that they can rise to the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. And thank you to Helios Education Foundation for the work you do during this time to inspire young readers across Arizona. Now, let's turn our attention to Championship Week and everything happening downtown in Phoenix beyond the game itself. So, we have our second panel. Let's go ahead and bring everyone up as I call your name. Lynn Holzman from the NCAA, who will be moderating this conversation. Ron Price, President and CEO of Visit Phoenix, who will speak to Tourney Town beyond the baseline and the fan experience at the Phoenix Convention Center. Jay Perry, CEO of the Phoenix Final Four Local Organizing Committee, the thread connecting stakeholders across Arizona to bring this event to life. Josh Brodelstein, CEO of the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, who are generously hosting us at Mortgage Matchup Center. Graham Rossini, Athletic Director at Arizona State University, our host institution, and Meg Aronowitz, Senior Vice President at ESPN, overseeing women's college basketball, among many other sports and championship productions. Please give them a warm round of applause.
All right. I do have to say to the panel as we get started here, I am actually going to really enjoy the one in this seat as opposed to the seat that you're going to sit in. I could just throw these questions away, but I won't do that. You know, just put you on the spot. But let's, so thank you, Autumn. Really appreciate that. And the Women's Final Four is truly a citywide championship experience. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that. And what we really want to start to share with the community about what's going to happen during championship week. Every fan event will take place here in the heart of downtown Phoenix, all within walking distance and all free to the public. Let's emphasize that again, that it's within walking and it's free. So that's one of the key messages we want you to take away from here. So downtown, what can fans expect April 2nd through the 5th? And for those that won't be in Phoenix but plan to watch from home, we also are going to take some time here to highlight ESPN's comprehensive coverage of the championship. So let's get started. First, Ron. Tourneytown, presented by Capital One, is the official fan festival of the Women's Final Four. It is the signature fan event of the Women's Final Four, and within that, we have a program called Beyond the Baseline. This event will transform the Phoenix Convention Center into a downtown fan hub for championship week. Walk us through what fans can expect when they step inside the convention center and how those free events will help set the tone for the entire Women's Final Four experience.
Thank you, Lynn, and excited to be here today, and I love the fact that we're getting so close to launching this event. And we've had a great opportunity for many years to get out and experience different championships in other cities, and Tourneytown is always one of my favorite places to stop in and check out. But one thing I love about Phoenix is I think we're better built for this than anywhere else. The fact that you've heard everyone talk about the games that take place here, downtown is going to own all these events. But one thing that we do really well is hosting major events, and we don't just reset for the next one. We completely gear up and try to do something unique and better for each one that comes in. One thing you'll find out when you walk into Tourneytown, it's going to be bigger than you're going to imagine. There's basketball courts in there. There's all kinds of contests. There's activities. All the sponsorship that you'll see set up and with the different booths and activities and contests that will be played. It's going to be a lot of fun. And what I love about it, we talk about it's free, which is the major thing. You don't have to have a ticket to the championship to feel like you're part of the championship. And so with all that being said, we are very excited to see how this is going to be bigger and better than it's ever been in before. I love the fact that this is also multi-generational, and I give a little quick story I talked about when we were in Tampa last year, walking through early in the morning, seeing a couple kids running around, two little girls having the time of their life, mom and dad are having the time of their life, running around, and about 5 minutes later I see them again, and grandma and grandpa are there with them. So there's something there for everyone to do, and a place where you can really spend a lot of time if you want to. And then we get into Beyond the Baseline. And this is where it gets exciting for me because Beyond the Baseline is an incredible women-led leadership event where you have speakers, you have a lot of unique mentors that show up that talk about life beyond sports. It leans into basketball, leans into sports, but so much more. And what I love seeing is all the athletes and the coaches from high school and junior high, as well as collegiate coaches there, listening to a lot of great speakers about life in general and great takeaways that we can learn from sports. But it's also that point to connect and enrich yourself. So a lot of great things will be happening there at the Convention Center.
That's just one of many events that we're going to talk about here. It wouldn't be a Women's Final Four if we weren't trying some kind of new initiative, and that is also the case this year. One of the new initiatives that the NCAA is offering with Phoenix it's called the For It All Fest. This is the first time it's being offered for Women's Final Four. So Jay, will you tell us about what can fans expect when they come to the For It All Fest here in downtown Phoenix?
Well, if you know Phoenix, you know we like to be the first at things and to really elevate the game, right, Mayor? And so For It All Fest is going to be basically a celebration. We want downtown Phoenix to feel like a party. And so this will be outdoors on 3rd Street. It'll be for the 4 days leading up to the championship game. And it's going to have live music, it's going to have food trucks, it's going to have entertainment, big screen TVs, so that we'll have a viewing party for the men's Final Four games as well as the women's games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there'll be a basketball court. And there's nothing more fun than standing outside in Phoenix in early April shooting hoops. So we are really excited about For It All Fest, and we thank you for letting us dry run this and be your guinea pigs.
So with that court, are you taking one-on-one challenges?
You know, you so want to go one-on-one with me. I am the best one you want to go one-on-one against. Yeah.
So another great event you've heard referenced a few times here is Bounce, which is it's presented by Geico. It's a free dribble parade of basketballs through the streets of downtown Phoenix, and this is really targeted at kids 18 years old and younger. Both the men's and women's Final Fours feature this event, so the city and the community did experience this when the men's Final Four was here in 2024. So anything you want to add about Bounce this year, Jay?
You know, Bounce is so much fun. The mayor mentioned it. I know Coach Molly's planning on having her kids out here. It's just, again, it's the first time that some kids are going to touch a basketball, right? They're going to be introduced to the game. They're going to be introduced to the NCAA. It's ages 18 and under. It's completely free. I mean, I love a free T-shirt, a free basketball. It doesn't get any better than that. And they get to dribble throughout Phoenix, take over the streets. Public safety loves that part of the event. They've got our backs on it, though, and so it's really a great introduction to the game. And I've heard stories from when we hosted the men's Final Four in 2024, how a couple kids took their basketballs to bed with them. So, I mean, I feel they are now new super fans, Josh, and they're going to be
Love that.
They're going to be here for all of our events. And the good news is, starting today, you can sign up for it. It's a free event, 18 years of age and younger, at ncaa.com /, I'm going to say it again, / Women's Final Four. It's a fun one.
Yep, it is. It's a great event, and the end of the Bounce culminates in Tourneytown, so it ends up being a great day for families to really experience both events. Let's go to Josh. Are you ready?
So ready.
Okay. So we have a Super Saturday practice, and this year presented by Samsung Galaxy. And this event gives our fans a rare opportunity to watch the final two teams that are going to play in the championship game on Sunday, how they prepare to be part of their practice inside Mortgage Matchup Center. What else can fans expect that day?
Yeah, well, it starts with, it's a game, but it's more than that. Like, legacies are built on that championship day. Memories are made. For Coach Miller, I played back in my day. You start with that first meeting and talking about the goal of playing in the Final Four. But when you're so close to them, there's an aura that there's only two teams left, and it's mythical and it's magical in here. So for all the fans to come in here, it's open, it's free, and see the players and coaches know that they're so close. Not just a goal, but a dream come true. But these kids counted down 3, 2, 1, and took the shot, and they dreamed about playing in the Final Four. Now they're playing for a national championship. And to see the arena, to see all that goes into putting on a championship game. You're going to feel it as soon as you step outside. And you're going to see the ushers and security. There's a different energy to it. So I remember when I was out there doing it, someone asked me yesterday, we could watch the film of your game. I said, well, you can't watch the film because I didn't play. But if you work really hard on the bench, you can see me out there. And hopefully, Graham and I, we won't bet, we'll be proud. We'll be Sun Devils versus Wolverines. That'd be a really good thing in 31 days.
So on Saturday, that open practice, the Super Saturday practice presented by Samsung Galaxy, again, we're going to go back to the thing, that is free. That is a way, it is really hard. We're proud about this, but it is really hard for the general public to get a ticket to the Women's Final Four. Right now, generally through the secondary market, the NCAA Ticket Exchange, that's the way if fans and local community want a chance to actually go to the game. But the opportunity that is here is that on Saturday, with that Super Saturday practice, fans can get into here in the arena, experience everything about what this arena is seeing, what is being showcased, and you see this with all the wonderful boards and everything else about it. My challenge to this community is to outdraw the number of fans on that Super Saturday practice that we saw 2 years ago in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you can fill this in the way that it's sold out for the games, you will have set a new bar, Phoenix.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Are we ready? Challenge accepted, Lynn. And I think Josh is well qualified to shag balls during the open practice. What do you guys think?
I was a good rebounder.
Suit up.
I can relate to that. Know your role. I did really good setting screens. Josh, is there anything else you want to highlight about Mortgage Matchup Center that we're going to see around Women's Final Four and everything happening in Arena?
I think just the care factor. We tell our team, it sits 17,000. We don't have 17,000 fans. We have one fan 17,000 times. And how do you create a memory for someone? These are not games. These are events that kids are going to talk about with their families, their grandparents saying, I went to go see Arizona State versus Michigan. See, I'm putting it out there.
I like this guy.
And they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. Some of my best memories were from playing and going and do it as a kid. So we don't take that for granted. We're not just here to put on the event and come in and buy some popcorn and leave. We challenge our team to make a memory. The memories will be on the court for the players, but also for the fans to say, wow, the care factor and execution of what they do here is off the charts.
I can definitely attest to that, having been in here for both Suns and Mercury games over the course of the last year, and that is definitely the case. So let's go to Graham here first, just on behalf of the NCAA. We just want to say thank you to Arizona State University serving as our host institution. You can't do NCAA championships without our members who are also directly involved in your staff and the support they provide. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that when you sign up to be the host of an NCAA championship and a championship of this magnitude. What role does Arizona State and your staff play, and what does it mean for Arizona State to have a hand in this championship?
Yeah, it means the world to us, and we're so grateful for the opportunity and the trust and confidence that the NCAA continues to have in ASU. It's a chance for us to give back as an institution. We're part of this incredible community, hosting these mega events, which has been such a point of pride for the entire state for quite some time now. And for our own team, in the last decade, we've been fortunate to host the men's Final Four twice, the men's and women's golf championships for 3 years in a row, and now getting a chance to do the women's Final Four for the first time. It's an incredible opportunity for us to donate and give back to the community and the sports that we care so much about. And we've got a number of our teammates here, Mike Chismar, Christina Mallon, Christina Wambacher, Doug Tamaro somewhere here, and a number of people behind the scene. It's the team behind the teams that make these events go, and that's from media coordination to managing the locker rooms to all the official scoring to athletic training and medical liaison and on and on. And so we want to be behind the scenes making sure that we've got the fans in mind to help the team here at Mortgage Matchup Center deliver that fan experience that Josh mentioned and make sure that these student athletes have the most incredible experience. I mean, they're getting a chance to do a once-in-a-lifetime experience competing for a national championship, part of the women's Final Four. We take that responsibility very seriously. And we're lucky in our space. We produce 250 live events over the course of our own year. We've been able to welcome the trophy tour to many of our ASU events over the course of this particular school year. We've partnered with Read to the Final Four, Molly's Minis, which you heard about. 1,000 fans through Molly's Minis that have come to ASU events because of Read to the Final Four. That's a part of our 86% increase in basketball attendance for women's basketball since Coach Miller's gotten here. And so just an example of the ways that we can continue to partner and raise the profile of this incredible event and take immense pride in hosting the Women's Final Four for the first time. And as you heard about, and we all know, showcasing the Valley of the Sun, city of Phoenix at the most incredible time to be here. You're not shoveling sunshine the way that you are shoveling other stuff right around the country right now. So we're ready for the challenge. We're battle tested. We're very good at producing these kind of events and ready for the moment coming our way in 37 days.
One of the other events on Saturday between the semifinals and the championship game is an event we call the Super Saturday Concert, and that's presented by AT&T, another free event. So Graham, would you talk to us a little bit about the concert, but also if you want to add in any other ways that you see college students connecting with the Women's Final Four experience?
Well, the free is the right theme here, and this is another incredible event. April 4th, the gates are going to open to Hance Park at 6 p.m. That evening to open up for a free concert. We can't yet announce the music act. It's coming really, really soon, but it's going to be a fan favorite, something that college students will certainly be excited by. So a number of the college students here in the Valley, look for that announcement coming in early March. It's going to be a wonderful chance to just plug into the events around the Women's Final Four. You don't need a ticket to the games to come. It's a free concert, as we mentioned. Hance Park is the most incredible backdrop here in downtown Phoenix. It's an appropriate namesake as we prepare to host the Women's Final Four for the first time in honor of Margaret Hance. So an incredible opportunity. And again, if you're looking for that way to touch the event and not necessarily by coming to one of the championship games, it's an incredible opportunity. A night under the stars here, great live music, a very exciting act that we can't wait to share that news here in a couple weeks. But we're good at teasing news lately, so we'll continue to do that today.
It is a really good act we can't share yet.
Wait, you know too.
Maybe. All right. Well, you've heard us talk several times, and comments I've shared and others have shared about the NCAA's partnership that we have with ESPN, and in particular, the support and what the partnership really showcases for NCAA women's basketball and the Division I women's basketball championship. I'd be remiss to say that the partnership we have with ESPN, having the broadcast rights, actually, they have the collection of rights for Division I, II, and III women's basketball championships and the women's basketball invitation tournament. So all of the, if you will, assets of women's basketball, our broadcast partner ESPN really helps us elevate the game and the championship. So Meg, for fans that may not be here in Phoenix and actually get to be in Mortgage Matchup Center to experience the games, give us a little insight into ESPN's coverage and what fans can expect for the entirety of the championship, but also the women's Final Four.
Yeah, well, I will say when Jay mentioned earlier 37 days, my palms started to sweat a little bit because while we're focused on what's going to be the incredible matchups here in Phoenix and the coverage, our coverage, it has already started. We're heading into Women's Champ Week next week, so we're very excited about that. We're thrilled that the NCAA and the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee is going to allow us to reveal the 16 host sites in alphabetical order for the first time on Saturday, the 14th of March. So look for that in the middle of the afternoon. So we'll get a little preview of what's to come for Selection Sunday. Selection Sunday on the 15th will be the biggest selection show that we've ever done at ESPN. So get excited. We'll have the first hour where we will reveal the bracket, and then we'll have the second hour of bracketology immediately following that, where we're going to get in depth and break down the bracket and what those matchups look like and who could potentially make it all the way here to Phoenix. And then our coverage begins, and it's going to be really bigger and better than we've ever done. Renewing our partnership with the NCAA. It comes with 42 NCAA championships, but this is the crown jewel of our portfolio with the NCAA. So we're going to really, add to our coverage of the first and second rounds. We are rolling out a new animation package that you will see with the first four, the first games that are played. We are elevating our music package, so that's very exciting for us as we go. We've added rules analyst Dee Cantner to our coverage, and Dee will be live in person in the studio during first and second round, and then on site at the regionals, and then here in the Final Four. And obviously, we have an incredible cast of talent and cast members that will be producing, yes, cast members, we are the Walt Disney Company, that will be producing all of the games, the 64 games before we get here, and then over 300 people that will be part of our team here in Phoenix, and we couldn't be more excited. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the NCAA and also the team here in Phoenix and at Mortgage Matchup Center. You've been great in the planning process and really accommodating for everything that we need. When we roll in for a show of this scale and size, we roll in big, and it's stressful. And so I apologize in advance, but I thank you also for welcoming us with open arms so that millions of people get to experience what the people that are going to be here in Phoenix will experience live.
So when you talk about rolling in, this is not a planned question, but I know you can answer this. You talk about rolling in. Let's give a sense about the scale for Women's Final Four. How many production trucks are you bringing?
Yeah, all in across the street, because we will take over the parking lot across the street. We will have we'll call them 9 production trucks. Not all of them are live action production trucks. We will produce out of 6 of those trucks, and then we'll have some office trailers in space, and we'll have our own catering compound over there because there are so many people. But I'm directionally challenged, but I think when you walk around the block over here, that parking lot that you see over there that week, it will become really what will look like almost a CFP or a Super Bowl compound. That's how much firepower we're bringing to this coverage.
The firepower bringing Women's Final Four is at the same level as the CFP and and we are a major sporting event, and the support ESPN provides to really deliver that to fans is amazing. I would be remiss if we didn't mention, we've already had one top 16 reveal. We have another one coming up. Is there anything you want to highlight about the upcoming top 16 reveal? And for those of you out there that have been tracking on this for women's college basketball, the committee does a lot of work throughout the season here, and they have 2 reveals of which they kind of give teasers, if you will, about where at that point in the season, how are teams looking kind of in those first 4 top seed lines for the bracket. So it's the committee's work, and ESPN helps provide the platform along with other social media platforms to put that out there. We've had one reveal, and we have another one coming up.
We do, and I do want to just take a look back at that reveal that we did on the 14th, because that was the first women's basketball game that ESPN has ever done on ABC in primetime on a Saturday night. So, yeah. So I do want to shout out Dan Margulis, our Senior Director of Programming, who fought hard because that could have been any men's basketball game that we had on our schedule that day, and he put a women's basketball game. It got a 1.7 million rating, but the reveal and the game day that led into that got 1.2 million viewers. So I am hoping that the interest in what people see coming from the committee drives to this next reveal that we'll have on March 1st, and we're very excited about that. Is it the 28th or is it the 1st? My dates are, it's the 1st, it's March 1st, sorry, that would be Sunday, yes. It's not a leap year, don't print that, please. So on March 1st, and we will be doing that live in Women's Game Day from TCU. So we're excited about that.
And that'll be on ESPN?
That will be on ESPN,
Yep.
correct.
Tune in. That'll give you some little teasers about who your number one seeds may be, and ones and twos and otherwise. Okay, Meg, anything else you want to highlight for new or elevated kind of investment by ESPN in this year's championship or Final Four?
Yeah, I would just say, and much like the concert reveal, I cannot reveal the details, but we are reimagining what we're doing for what we call our alternate telecast. So it has been Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi for the last 6 years, and we're very grateful for them and their time with us. But we're going to reimagine and rethink how we bring the viewer that alternate telecast. More to come here in the coming weeks on that, so we're excited about that. And I will just say that as I'm sitting here looking out these windows, you should know that we are going to have a 2-point aerial camera system that's going to fly over this outdoor entrance here, which is going to really showcase this beautiful arena. And we're excited about that. But this will be the biggest women's Final Four that we have ever produced in terms of technology and coverage.
Yeah. Woo! Go Meg! I like it.
Hopefully one of the themes you've heard throughout today is that we fully embrace in women's basketball, along with all the great partnerships we have, innovation, creativity, and willing to try some things and know that we have to continue to evolve and to be responsive to our fans, our players, our teams, and otherwise. And what ESPN does, what the local organizing committees, our schools, as we're involved year over year, the bar gets raised every single year. I do want to thank the panelists for helping paint a picture about what Championship Week will bring here in Phoenix. We are very excited to bring this celebration to life. We are very excited to be here on the western side of the country, if you will. We are very excited to engage with you as community members and leaders to really integrate and experience what women's basketball, the women's Final Four, is all about. We are not shy about saying that we are the mega premier elite women's sporting event in the world. The world will be descending upon Phoenix here at the end of March, beginning of April, and we are going to crown a national champion as well. So thank you again to everyone, and I'm going to turn it over back to Autumn to bring us home.
Thank you all. We are in great hands here at Phoenix. I cannot wait. I appreciate all the partners and people who are making everything happen behind the scenes to make sure we have a wonderful championship experience. I love what Josh said about the memories. Like, that's what it's about for this community and also for the student athletes. And Meg, my hands are sweating too, just thinking about 37 days. That is insane. It's getting real. The season is flying by. But I just want to say thank you all for being here today, supporting the 2026 NCAA Final Four. We will be here very soon. And just wanted to say thank you overall. We'll be right back here in April coming up. And we're going to move into media availability. So we're going to take some group pictures on the stage. We're going to start with speakers. But again, thank you for being here today. Shameless plug, follow at March Madness Women's Basketball. We will be highlighting tournament coverage all season long and, of course, throughout the tournament. So please make sure you continue to support. We'll see you in April. Thank you. All right, the first group, we will have speakers come up.